Okay, I think we're actually live. I think. Okay. Yeah, don't know if anybody's out there or not, but let's see. I've got my pad at the side. Yeah, finally, as promised, I finally went live. Not using the restream tonight because I can't quite figure that out to get it working. This, I think I got worked out now finally, thanks to the help of Reaper User Group on Facebook and Aaron and a couple of other people suggesting about the ASIO drivers for OBS, which I didn't know existed. I didn't think OBS worked with ASIO drivers. There you go. I'm getting old. That's my problem. What I'm kind of using as a support mechanism for tonight is I recorded some drums in the week, and I thought I'd go through how I do it, philosophy on my little studio here, how we work, how we roll, and let's just have a quick listen. And if there are MD people, I think there's some people watching, let me know what the sound is like this time. I'm not getting any crackles and pops anymore, hopefully. So I'll play some of the music. Now, just to explain, we were concentrating on recording the drums, so the bass, and there's a scratch bass which I play. There's a scratch guitar and a DI which I think I ran through. What did I run it through? The Slate THU. Just to create a stereo thing. So Mr. Jens Brandt plays on the guitar. Mr. Magnus Wilhelmsson plays drums. I'm playing bass. As I say, the bass and guitar I just scratch. It was just to give Magnus something to play drums to. When we did this originally, we were sent the kind of demos, none of which was played to a click. So Magnus, we recorded the drums first, and he was playing them to these demos, which weren't in time. He was listening to another drummer while playing his own drums, and we thought, okay, well, let's treat that as pre-production, and this time we learn the song and we play it as a band. So this is the kind of result of this. So this is one of 3 that were recorded on Monday, so there's a whole album of this to be done. I'll go into a little bit more detail if anybody's interested in who this is for. He was a bit of a big deal back in the 80s and 90s. But let's just play some of this and see. Let me know how it sounds, if it sounds like shit or not, okay? get the idea. So what I wanted to maybe talk about is show you. Let me mention my philosophy in my little studio that I've got here is very much it's. I remember being a penniless musician that could never afford to pay recording studios. I was in a lucky situation that I got into a lot of sessions and I got to know a lot of producers and stuff and got a lot of free studio time. But that doesn't happen anymore these days. Not in the way it did back when I was young. So what I want to do with this studio is to give it, it's my kind of philosophy and everything is to give a little back. That's why I do these videos. My channel isn't monetized or anything. I'm just trying to give a little back because I was given so much help by the Reaper forums and groups and all the rest of it in the beginning, and you know, never mind Kenny Joya's videos and all the rest of it. So that's always been my philosophy, and it's the same thing with my studio here. I could, if I wanted, spend shitloads of money on shitloads of gear and have nice fancy outboard gear and all the rest of it, but then whoever comes in to use my studio would have to pay for that. It's just that simple. If I'm going to spend $5,000 on a compressor, I'm going to want a return on that investment. So my philosophy has been that I try to get the best quality equipment that I need to get the job done. So I use Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40 with an old Focusrite Platinum Octoprix, the old silver face one with the one knob compressors on it. And a couple of, I've got a DBX 266 compressor just that I use sometimes. There is this crappy Behringer thing in there as well, which I don't think is actually mine. And everything else I kind of do in the box. With the proviso, it keeps costs down, and therefore I don't have to pass those costs on to the customer. I can provide a reasonable, well, a good quality sound at a reasonable price, and that's my kind of philosophy. So anyway, that's the whole point of all of this. So I'm going to show you, that includes my mics. I mean, I don't tend to skimp too much on my mics, but I haven't bought wonderfully expensive mics. Let me just find, transferred some pictures of when we recorded the drums, if I can find them. I was going to show you the kind of setup we used and go through some of the mics that we used. Except I can't find the flipping photos now. Typical. Yeah, there you go. I'll get there. Nope. I don't know where I've saved them now. That's a shame. Okay. I did take some pictures of the kit and the mic setup. Yeah. Bugger. Huh. Nope, can't find them. Sorry guys. Typical me, I did it last night and I'll probably put them in a folder that's so obvious once I come off of this. I'll find it straight away. But anyway. What I'll do is I'll talk through some of the mics that I used anyway, and we can go from there. So on the kick, where are we now? Let's go down. So I've got a kick-in mic, which is this wonderful little thing. Let me make my picture bigger so you can see what I'm actually holding up. is this thing. It's a Super Lux. They're cheapest chips. I think it's, what was it, 350 kroner, which is 35 quid, 30 quid in Britain, $30. And what I do is I put that just inside the hole and I point it, not at the beater, but I point it across at where the skin meets the rim of the drum on the other side. I wish I could get these pictures up, but anyway. This guy you're going to know. Usual SM57 on the snare. This one is it's the Toman, the T-Bone MB75. I use this as crotch mic, as I call it. I am going to have to find these pictures because that's annoying now. That's pissing me off that I can't. But yeah, so what we can have a quick look. I haven't really done a lot to these. What I want to do is show you what I tend to do on the way in. I use input effects in Reaper. As you know, when you hit it onto record, you have access to this input effects, and these actually get printed to what you're recording. So I tend to put this FGN on, boost a little bit, 60 Hertz on a kick, knock off a bit of 360, and a little bit of a boost, and just a tiny little bit of compression as I'm going in. Nothing major, nothing that I can't change. I will, it depends on the situation. I'll go more or less, or less or more, whatever. But then afterwards, what am I doing here? Yeah, not a lot yet. I haven't really done anything to any of the drums other than the snare, which is mainly on the snare bus. So I'm boosting a shitload of 200 on the actually, hang on, have I changed? No, you can't see. Sorry, I'll get the hang of this. Let's change the scene. Right. Plus I've got it in the wrong window. Right. Okay. So this is what I'm doing on the snare. So I've got it on the oh my god. That famous old mix into SSL. Fucking hell, god, my brain goes sometimes. A little bit of saturation, and I'm boosting the living crap out of 200 to get a sound that I like. Knocking a little bit more off of 300 Hz, 330. Boosting 4.5 and boosting a little bit of 10K on a, not on a bell, no, that's not, this is on a bell, the low shelf, it's not on the low shelf, it's on a bell. So if we just have a listen to this snare, and what I'll do is I'll take this off and we can have a listen to it. Get out to where the snare plays would be helpful. If I bring back in the effects, take down some of the verb so you can hear it. It's a bit of a difference. And once it's put into the mix, I guess one of my main takeaways from that is don't be afraid to crank it. If you need to turn something up to get the sound you want, turn it up. Nobody died, is old, what's his name? CLA would say. Let's see what else. I ran the drum bus out through my DBX compressor, so we can have a listen to what that did. So on its own, so as you can hear, I've compressed that pretty heavily. So if we blend it in, take it out. So hopefully you can hear that. Okay. Don't know. Is anyone watching? Has anybody got any questions? Would be kind of nice. Yay? Nay? Okay. Right. Okay. So on my snare verb, I'm a fan of this little plate by Sound Toys. It's just fantastic. I use it for everything. It's just amazing. I also use the Reek EQ, as certain other YouTuber called it, from the JS plugins, which is a fantastic take on the Re-EQ. I've got AXDP's beta or alpha of the reverb. But also, sometimes I use the Verb Suite Classics. I don't know, but the little plate always seems to win out for me at the moment on snare. Let's see if we... God, I'm not even showing you that. I'm really sorry. I'm fucking crap at this. So let's open that up again and show you the window. Hey, there you go. Okay, so we got little plate, as I said. I love Reek EQ and high and low cuts, just to get that middle kind of ground with a. It's a traditional kind of Abbey Road kind of thing with reverb. This is the Iconic verb, which is the new reverb that will be coming from AIX DSP, but it's not out yet. This is just the alpha, and also Verb Suite Classics I use sometimes. But little plate is my favorite. Okay. What else? Let's get out the toms now. I haven't gated in. I haven't really done a lot with anything on any of this. I messed about with the snare because I wanted to make sure I was getting the sound that I was after. With tom, there's this little trick I use. Let me see. I'm hoping I can. I saved it. Insert track template. Let's see. I get so many things. I save everything. Tom's 80s verb. That's the one. So we put this in. Let's drop it into the envelope properly. And we can have a look at what's going on here. Let's drop it in there. Right, so this is a little trick to get some nice big sounding toms. Now what I'll do is I'll mute it out and I'll play the toms. This is a tom fill here as it is. Wasn't the greatest one, maybe. Let's just do these couple of hits here. Okay, now let me bring in this. We don't want to mute it. We want to send it to the master, otherwise it won't work in the folder world. Right, so let me just solo that out. I think it might work. Right, you can hear that. So if we just play that again. Right, so a little trick I do, it's an 80s thing. I'm a kid of the 80s. So it's an EQ, again, rolling off a load of top end, that's all. Then studio reverb, just some kind of, just a nice reverb. And microshift. This is the main thing that does this. So you get this kind of movement on it. So if I play you that one more time, and if we listen to the toms on their own, but without it, you hear what I'm talking about. It just makes them massive, it makes them sound fantastic. So just a little tip there. It's I'll show you that one more time. Bring it up. So we got little microshift first, but you can do that with the Eventide plugins, etc. You can do the same thing. A studio reverb, it doesn't matter. It can just be some kind of room reverb. That's all this is. And then EQ to knock off everything over 5K roundabout. Okay, and that's it. And it gives you a really nice big tom sound. And in the mix. So yeah. What else we got going on? Let's talk about my overhead bus. We can have a listen to this, and I'll show you the mics I used for it. What I am gonna do, oh god, razor, do that on. Let's turn these up a little bit with the clip gain, because admittedly the day we recorded these drums I was having some problems with my setup. I'd redone a lot of the wiring in here and I'd had some problems and some level problems. So, but let's have a listen to these overheads. Come right down. I mean, they're very clanky is what I like to call it, but I like that. And what I use for my overheads, what is it? I've got a mic here, is this guy. Let me make my screen big so you can see what I'm holding up. Is this guy. It's Audio Technica, where are we? M31. Now these guys I've had since I was, I don't know, 20 years I must have had them. They're electrets. I mean, they, you know, you open them up, you put a battery in there, a AA battery, and there's an on-off switch, and away you go. But I put these over the drummer's head on a stereo bar, but pointing at each other on an XY kind of pattern, you know. If I could find the photos, I would show you, but unfortunately I can't. So yeah, that was the overheads. I love them. They give me a nice raw sound that, you know, listen to that one more time. I mean, it's kind of accurate to what my room sounds like, which is, you know, as it should be. And then we'll come to the rooms. Now, usually I use on these a couple of kind of cheap, not cheap, but affordable condensers, multi-pattern condensers. But in this case, one of them packed up on me for some reason. So one of these is my Aston, which you can see in the picture here, and the other one is this. I haven't got it here with me, sorry. Anyway, it's a typical Chinese, you know, mic that was sold by a shop here in Sweden, and, you know, branded with their own brand kind of thing, a bit like how Thomann does it. So if we unsolo that, let's solo the rooms, we can have a listen. Again, I'll turn it up. Now, again, I'm compressing the living crap out of the rooms, as I always do. Added in some low end, but in the mix. Take them out, let's turn these overheads down a bit. up the runes. Just creates a little bit of length on the drums. I love it. So there you go. Unless anyone wants to chime in and say hello or say anything, then I might cut this off now. I didn't think I would have the millions pouring in, but I thought maybe somebody might want to say hello. But if you don't, you don't. That's cool. It's all good. Anyway. Okay, guys. Well, look, thanks for watching. If MD wants to see more of this, please get in touch with me and let me know. I need to plan it a little bit better. I've been so concentrated on making this work that the content possibly isn't as wonderful. I apologise for that. But I hope this has been a little bit useful to anyone that did watch and maybe who watches in the future. And I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye now.